Welcome metalheads to No Nonsense Metal Reviews with me, George, and today's episode of Heavy Relics involves me showing off 3 of my latest vinyl finds, 2 from eBay, 1 from a market stall in the local town. I'm particularly chuffed with these items, although in points the condition could have been better, but I wanted to get these albums as I don't have them on CD and I've been wanting to get them for quite some time. So we'll start with this particular item. I'll just slip it out of the sleeve so that it doesn't glare too much. This item is a double live album from one of the biggest and most renowned names in rock music, heavy rock definitely. An album that I feel, and I know this is shared by a lot of other fans, that these are the definitive versions of those songs. Although the studio versions are good, I feel like the live versions of the tracks that we get here on Kiss Alive 2 are better than the studio versions. They sound heavier, they sound meatier, they sound bloody brilliant, and I'm very pleased with this one. Again, I'm not going to go into money here, but I did not pay a lot for this. Very minimal amount was spent, to be honest, and the condition, I feel, is really good. I don't think this is an original, as it says 1982, and I'm pretty sure that the album actually came out a little bit before that. That said, it's still an old album, of course. It's an old piece of vinyl that we have here, but it's in great condition, and the album is freaking brilliant. I love it. I think this is a heavy rockin' album. We all love Kiss. Some of the most devoted heavy music fans and musicians, Dimebag Darrell, for example, to name one of many heavy music musicians, fans, introduced to the heavy stuff by these guys, or certainly were heavily influenced by them. They've got some killer material. Detroit Rock City, what an absolutely killer heavy rockin' track. There is nothing not to love about that. King of the Nighttime World. You've got all the cheesy stuff here. Of course you've got, well, I say cheesy, sleazy is probably more appropriate. Ladies Room, Making Love, Love Gun, Call Me Dr. Love. You get the impression. They like to sing about, I wonder what subject. But we've got some brilliant tracks here, and I think it's a fantastic live album. I say live, the last 5 tracks of the B-side, or side B, of side 2 even, of disc 2 is studio tracks, but they're good tracks, definitely. They're good songs, but it's mainly about the live stuff. That's what we're really here for, and it sounds great. I played this, the condition of the disc is really good. I'm not going to get them out just for fear of unnecessarily damaging them. Just really good stuff. Tomorrow and Tonight, Shock Me with Ace Frehley on vocals. This is a really good album, and I'm very pleased to have a pretty good condition copy in my collection. Do I prefer it to Kiss Alive or Kiss Alive 1? I don't think I could say. I think they're both classic live albums. That is the, of course, the defining live album for the band Kiss Alive. But this keeps that name alive, if you'll pardon the pun, because what a rocker. I really like this a lot. In fact, I'm probably going to have to play it again in a little while, just because it's so good. So there you have it. Kiss Alive 2, one of the first finds. Like I say, from the local town, market stall, really quite good condition in my opinion. What isn't in particularly great condition is this second piece, and I know that this is a hard album to get hold of. It's certainly a classic in the underground, sort of early new album, punky kind of rock and roll, embryonic thrash, shall we say, certainly influenced a lot of thrash metal bands, especially the Teutonic titans that came out of Germany, the likes of Sodom, Creator and Destruction. I'm talking about this little number. This is Tank, the Filth Hounds of Hades. So I'm not particularly in the know when it comes to Tank, but I know this album is certainly a very important album and was very influential. Produced by Motorhead's own Axeman Eddie Clarke. These guys appeared on tours with Motorhead and they were very closely linked. Stylistically, you can definitely hear that. And this album, Filth Hounds of Hades, I've listened to it. The sleeve, I'm a little bit disappointed with. You could probably see there's quite a big cut down there, or rip. There's sticker marks. You know, it could be better. I didn't pay a lot for it. It was very, very cheap, to be honest, because of the condition. And I just wanted to have the disc to hear the album. Because the CD, if you want a CD copy of this, it's extortionate. Absolutely ridiculous. I paid about a quarter of the cost of the CD on this. So I'm not too upset about that. If it was in mint condition, I would be very, very pleased. But the tracks, that's what it's all about. Let's think about the tracks here. I know deep down my OCD is screaming that I want this to be neat and uncreased and scratched. But okay, put that aside. Let's talk about those tracks. Shell Shock, brilliant track. The sound of these guys is, I would say, it's somewhere between Motorhead and Kiss, ironically. It's almost like a rock and roll, heavy metal, punky cocktail. It's all over the place, but it's heavy. Like I say, Shell Shock, you've got some really great vocals from, I think the guy's name is Algie Ward, and they're really good musicians as well. I'm shocked that these guys, I think they're still around in various forms. Tank, the name is sort of, I guess you've got factions of the band, different era lineups still keeping the name. But I'm surprised they weren't bigger, because this is a super, super album, very heavy. Like I say, very rocking, very punky, but there's elements in there that are very nwobum, very thrash at times, certainly for the time. I think this was 1980. Could be wrong, doesn't actually say the year on the back. Oh yeah, we've got Algie Ward on bass and vocals. We've got Peter Brabs on guitars and Mark Brabs on drums. I believe they are a relation. Struck by Lightning, Run Like Hell, and my personal favourite, as I do love beer and some blood and guts, we've got Blood, Guts and Beer. What a brilliant, imaginative song title, a really heavy track, really, really, really bloody good. Then we've got That's What Dreams Are Made Of, or TWDAMO, bit of a mouthful, but really good rocking track, bit sleazy. Yeah, the B-side, again, you've got really good stuff here, Heavy Artillery, Filth Hounds of Hades. He fell in love with a stormtrooper. And I don't know if that's a typo, but I thought that it was she fell in love with a stormtrooper. But I could be wrong, who cares? We live in a very different age, it's fine. Whatever you want. Love who you like, that's fine. So this album, really, really good. I really like it. I just wish the condition was a bit better. So if you do like Motorhead, Kiss, nwobum, early thrash, check this album out if you haven't, because it is a bloody good one. It's really heavy, really good stuff. Absolutely recommend that. The final article is, without a doubt, the one that I'm most pleased with. One of my favourite bands, definitely if I had to really scratch my brain and just throw myself in with that horrible question, who are your top 5 favourite bands of all time? These guys would definitely fall into that top 5. I think, without a doubt. Are you ready for this one? Quick slurp. Their stuff is very hard to get hold of, and it's generally very expensive. But Black Sabbath is a household name. We all know Black Sabbath, we all love Black Sabbath. In the heavy music world, we all have an appreciation for the godfathers of heavy metal. And this particular compilation is one that I don't have on CD. It is in bloody brilliant condition. I believe that this is an original. Please do correct me if I'm wrong. But NEMS Records, you see down there, and it says it on the middle of the disc as well, on the stickers. This compilation, We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll, is a fantastic compilation, really brilliant stuff. Totally weird, no idea what the hell that's all about in there, that artwork. But it's a brilliant, brilliant compilation, and I'm really chuffed to have some Black Sabbath vinyl. Of course, I'd love to have a copy of my favourite Black Sabbath album, and one of my favourite albums of all time being The Mighty Volume 4. But this will do, because I really like the tracks here. We get, shockingly, 5 tracks from the first album, which was only 7 tracks long. We've got, opening up on side 1 there, Black Sabbath. Of course, we're going to have the 12 track kicking things off. Then we've got The Wizard, Harmonica Ogogo. What a brilliant track. Very, very sort of bluesy and heavy, and just a great number. Really memorable. Warning, of course. Elsewhere, we have, at the end of side 2, we have Wicked World. A good track, again. Then, closing the album, we have Nib. So we've got 5 tracks from the first record, which only had 7. Interesting. So it's very Black Sabbath, the album, heavy. However, we also get the Mighty War Pigs, the song that everyone knows, Paranoid. The song that everyone also knows, Iron Man. So Paranoid gets its representation here. Kicking off side 3, we've got Tomorrow's Dream, before Fairies Wear Boots, which is also one of my favourite Black Sabbath songs. What an absolute monster of a track that is. Rather disappointingly, we've got Changes on here, and I don't feel that that's necessary. Not when there's tracks like National Acrobat, for example, or Under the Sun, that would definitely go down better on a compilation like this. However, we've got Sweet Leaf, Children of the Grave, Sabbath Bloody Sabbath, Am I Going Insane, which is from Sabotage. We've got a radio version. Good song. I really like Sabotage. I feel like it's an underappreciated album for sure, but that's the only track from the album that makes it onto this compilation. Laguna Sunrise, Snowblind, The Mighty, before that closing track, Nib. See that track list there. There's not too much wrong with it. There's a few things missing, yes, but for Sabbath fans like myself, brilliant. We've got the classic lineup, we've got the classic tracks. What a wonderful piece to have, and I'm really chuffed. So amazed with the condition. And I really don't think that this album has been played hardly at all. I don't have a particularly sophisticated turntable, and it seems to struggle with new records, new editions. I have a few albums from new, and it seems to struggle with them. It sort of skips and jumps, and it almost did this a few times with this one. So I'm thinking, and there's not a scratch on the discs at all. I'm thinking this has hardly been played. So I am very happy with this, absolutely. In fact, it's going straight back in that sleeve. So what do you think about all these then? I'm interested to hear. What do you think? Have you got a copy of We Sold Our Souls for Rock and Roll? Is it as good as mine? Has anyone got a better copy of Phil Founders of Hades, this classic album? What are your thoughts and opinions? And am I correct? Do we all love rock giants Kiss? Let me know. Thanks, of course, for watching Heavy Relics. Feel free to like and subscribe, as always. Take care, my friends, and do not forget to tune in soon for more reviews and more episodes of Heavy Relics. Take care, my friends. Stay heavy.